Hey everybody, it's Mom of Two, Wife of One. Thank you guys so much for clicking on this video. Thank you for coming to my channel or coming back to my channel, depending on who you are. So, we're here to talk about Married at First Sight. I'm just going to get right into it. This is season 17. We're on episode 16, which means the show comes on once a week, right? This is episode 16. That means we've been watching the show. I have been watching the show for 4 months straight. And I still don't know how far away we are from the finish line. I have no idea how many more episodes there are. At one point, the season would end after 16 weeks. And I don't see an end in sight. I really, really don't. Regardless, whether this is your first time checking out my channel or not, make sure you like this video. Just like it before I even finish. You can dislike it later. But just like it initially when you click on it. Just because, it makes me feel better. Like the video, share this video for anybody that you think might even be watching this show, or for anybody you think who may want to just see my face. Oh, this is cool chick on YouTube. She seems nice and friendly, and she gives good advice. So yeah, you should see her. Just share with whoever you think. Make sure you comment below, and then make sure you all subscribe to my channel. So, this is the episode where traditionally, premise of the show, well, you guys know the premise of the show, but at some point in the season, all of the couples towards decision day, maybe a week or two away from decision day, they go on a couples retreat. So the show will give this beautiful Airbnb, and all the couples are invited to come there and spend the weekend and just have fun. And it's a way for them all to be together, but it's also a way for the couples to kind of reconnect. This is especially crucial for those couples who are kind of on the fence about whether or not they want to stay married or whether or not they want to get a divorce. So this is the pinnacle moment where it's okay, it's a last ditch effort to figure out, do we really have what it takes, and can we really, go the distance? That's the point, traditionally, of the couples retreat. This season is very weird and is very different from past seasons in terms of how many of these couples are still together, right? We technically started with 4 couples when we were supposed to start with 5. At the current state we are now, one couple has already said they don't want to be married to each other. This was right after the honeymoon. Another couple is separated. 2 couples are together, but one of them, they're just kind of acting like friends. And then a new couple just got married. We're going to get to them in a minute. But again, the premise is that these couples come because it's called a couples retreat. However, in the house, there are only 2 couples staying in the house. And one of those couples aren't even sleeping in the same bedroom. It's a very, very weird situation. So I think I'll start with the people who I had the least amount to say about, and then I'll go to the end. Throughout the entire episode, especially looking at social media, and I always look at the social media comments the day after the show has come out, and everyone pretty much had the same comment that I had. Why are some of these people here? If it's a couples retreat, this is for couples. Why do we have single people in this house? Why are we still seeing these people on our screens? You guys decided not to stay together, or your person decided they don't want to be with you, so why am I still seeing you? I don't get it. So we'll start with Claire. Claire's that situation where she and Cam are separated, right? Cam had heart surgery. We may not see Cam ever again the rest of the season, honestly, because he's probably for what? But her thing is always, it's just so weird being here without Cam. And, this was the first time that she said out of her mouth, it was difficult being here because we're separated. Normally, she just says, oh, it's so weird being here without Cam. He really should be here. And it just feels kind of strange. And, I know he's focused on his health, so I'm not hearing from him. But, I want to, help, and I want to know what's going on. But I know that once I find out what's going on, I'm going to be worried. And so he doesn't want me to be worried. So that's why I can't keep my distance. And my whole thing was, he is focusing on himself. I firmly believe that. But in her mind, that's the reason why he's not calling you. What does he need to call you for? You guys are not, technically on paper you're married, but you are not his wife in his mind. He literally has no reason to call you to update you on anything. You're not privy to that information anymore. In his mind, you guys are no longer married. So why do you think he should be calling you on anything? Because in her mind, and I've said this in past episodes, she's like, I know, we became such good friends. We're like best friends now. You think of him as your best friend. That don't mean that Cameron sees it that way. Because again, once you go through this thing of having a relationship with someone, and obviously this was very non-traditional how they went about doing this, right? But once you have a relationship with someone and it doesn't work out for whatever reason, whether it was an amicable breakup or not, a lot of times people need some space to kind of, figure out what went wrong, what went right, what could I have done better, what could this person have done better. You need to kind of analyze the situation, have peace with it, and then maybe at some point you can go back to being friends, but it's never right away. It, for darn sure, isn't in the midst of you guys being separated. Y'all haven't even fully got divorced yet. So he's probably not thinking, oh, I'm so glad I have this friend. He's thinking, I need to take care of my health. I'm not worried about her because I need to do my thing. She's still operating under the mindset of a quote unquote best friend, almost like a wife, but not really, because that's not what he wants from you. And you clearly didn't necessarily want a husband. So it's just weird. So it's like, why are you here on this retreat? This makes no sense. Why? So that's her. Lauren and Orion, again, why? They called the quits before Claire and Cameron did. So why are we still seeing them? I just don't understand. Orion showed up first, and he's like, I'm glad that Lauren is coming because I really want to, talk to her. I kind of want to squash things over. And I'm like, the last time we saw you guys was at Michael and Chloe's wedding. You guys were sitting beside each other. You had a conversation. Everything seemed really amicable. You guys hugged it out at the end. What more do you need to say to her? It just seemed weird because he wasn't clear. He made it seem like, I just want to kind of build a bridge. Why do you need to build a bridge? Like, for what? Again, just like Cameron and Claire, you guys are not officially divorced just yet. As far as I know on paper, you guys aren't officially divorced yet. So what bridge needs to be built? I don't understand. You guys had a conversation and she's not mad at you, you're not mad at her. So there's literally nothing else for you guys to say to each other. So then when Lauren comes, she says that he said he wants to be friends with me. Friends make an effort. I haven't talked to him since the wedding. And I fully understand where she's coming from, because if you say you want to be friends with me, then that means you are going to be the one calling me to either have a conversation, to hang out, or whatever. That's not on me then to now make that effort to be friends with you. I didn't say I wanted to be friends with you. You said that's what you wanted. And Lauren also said, she said this to Claire, that Orion has a habit of saying things in front of the entire group, or saying things just for the camera. But then when the cameras are off and no one else is around, there's no follow through. I think that's a very fair assessment. And she's like, I'm kind of on the fence on whether or not we need to have a conversation, but I don't know. And I was like, there's literally nothing to talk about. Literally, there's nothing to talk about. So, and what I was thinking, you and Claire are the single ones. Instead of coming for this couple retreat, Claire and Lauren, who it seemed like they're actually close in real life and talk pretty frequently, the two of them should have had a girls' trip. They could have come to the couples retreat, said hi to everybody, like, hey guys, hope you guys have a wonderful, amazing time. We don't really feel like it's right that we're here, so we're just going to be up the road. Get your own Airbnb and have a nice little girls' weekend, just the two of y'all. That's what they could have done. And I think that would have been better. I would have appreciated that a lot more than having them in the same house with all of these couples. That made no sense. Orion, I haven't seen it for him since the honeymoon. I ain't got nothing to say to that dude. I don't want to see his face at all on my screen. So I'm good. I don't need to see that. So that's the three of them, right? Let's get to Becca and Austin. I will say that Becca is very funny. When they first got to the Airbnb and Austin realized that the house belonged to someone who played for the Denver Broncos, he was decided like, oh my gosh, she's like the best Bronco in the world, and blah, blah, blah. And Becca came on, like, was looking at whatever he's looking at. She's like, wow, I wish I cared. And she said it so genuinely. And I was like, that's how I would approach this. That's exactly something I would say. She had me dying laughing. Like, and I had to show my husband. I was like, this girl is so funny. She is so me. Because she was like, in her interview thing, she was like, yeah, offense, defense, touchdown, yay. I was like, I love Becca in this moment. I just thought that moment was just really funny and just very genuine. I really enjoyed it. And the two of them had like a spa situation, a Russian spa, where they did a sauna. They went like in this cold bath thing. They got like an actual massage. They got beat with like twigs or leaves or something. I don't know. I was like, this seems like a lot going on. They seemed to have fun. Didn't really seem like they made any kind of success, I guess, when it came to sex, because they stayed in a room. I didn't really understand the situation. They went to bed. And an hour later, he gets up and he takes his blanket and his pillow and he tells her, I'm going to go sleep in the big bedroom. You can come if you want. And she was like, the way he was presenting, his attitude, it didn't seem very warm and inviting. This is when he really wanted me to come, so I didn't. And it just seemed weird. Like, what was that situation about? And the next day, she was like, he apologized. So I accepted his apology. They still didn't explain why he moved to the bedroom. It was really weird and made no sense whatsoever. Like, none. So now we get to Emily and Brennan. I will say this is the first time that I genuinely felt like they were on the same page. Because Emily was like, again, the point of the couples retreat is to go to see if this can be salvaged. Are we on the right track? Most people go on the couples retreat and it kind of cements for them whether or not it's a yes or no on decision day. Emily was like, I'm not thinking about Brennan. I'm not thinking about our marriage. I'm going to have fun with our friends. And I think it's just going to be just a relaxing time, just having fun. That's what I'm focused on. And Brennan basically said the exact same thing. They're both like, we're not thinking about our marriage. We're focused on having fun and there's no pressure. And it's like, Emily's like, I don't have hope anymore that Brendan is going to change. I don't have hope that he's going to put forth an effort. I don't have hope at all that he is going to understand that he has done nothing to build on this marriage. He wants to focus on friendship so bad. Fine. I don't even care at this point. Then when they got there and they're picking out bedrooms, Brendan was like, oh, okay, cool. So you're going to be in this room? Okay, so I'm going to be in that room. Cool, cool. And at this point, she's like, you know what? I don't even care. Separate bedrooms? Sure. Why not have separate bedrooms? Of course, that makes sense for us. It doesn't. And I'm assuming if you have separate bedrooms there, does that mean they're sleeping in separate bedrooms in their apartment? That's my assumption because she didn't like make a fuss about it. But that's just a weird thing. Like, even if we're resetting and now we're going to be quote unquote friends, we are still married. Like, we are still married. We're still at least pretending on paper that we're actively trying to be a married couple. So if we are trying to get to that point where we are acting like a married couple, where we are hugging more, we are kissing more, or touching more, eventually having sex, all that stuff goes with being married, right? Obviously friends may not do all of those things, but the whole point is to start here and allow it to grow. How are we going to grow if you're in another bedroom? Like, what kind of sense does that make? And then they went ATVing because they both love adventures. One of the things they have in common, they like adventure, they like doing things together, and they haven't really done something together in a long time, nothing physical like this. So they go ATVing. She gets in an accident. I don't know if she runs into a tree or something happens, and she has this really bad injury. There's blood matted in her hair, blood pouring down her face. And as soon as it happens, Brendan runs over to her. He has like a cloth he's holding to her head. There's like a zoom in of him holding her hand and trying to assure her. I don't hear her say much, but he's there the whole time until 911 gets there. And the thing is, I'm not going to be like, oh, I'm going to give him credit because he didn't have to do that. You the husband. Of course you got to do that. You the husband, and you're also the kind of husband who's very cognizant of the cameras and who's very aware of what he says and does on camera. So of course you're going to be the doting husband. Of course you're going to be there holding her hand. Of course you're going to reassure her that everything's okay. And I'm not saying that he's not being truthful in those things because obviously I don't know, but I didn't expect him to do anything less. I'm not going to give him credit for something that he should be doing anyway, right? And they whisk her away to the hospital, and then next week we'll see how severe the injuries are and just kind of get his input on what happened, how he feels, all that stuff. So we'll see. Michael and Chloe, my not fear, because I got annoyed because they're talking at the retreat and they're like, oh, are Michael and Chloe coming? Yeah, I think they're coming at the end of the retreat. Why are they coming at the end of the retreat? Again, this is for people to, this is, most people have this retreat at the time when they are deciding if they're going to stay married or not. Michael and Chloe haven't even been married a week yet. So why are they going away to a retreat to make sure their marriage is solid when it's been less than freaking 7 days? Because literally the way this is being shot, and obviously the timeline is all off, but the way this is being shot, this is what it looks like right now. Michael and Chloe get married. And I'm just going to use like days just so you can see how fast it looks, at least from my perspective. Michael and Chloe get married on a Friday. Saturday, they go on their honeymoon, which is a road trip because they're still in the state of Colorado. Saturday, they go on the honeymoon. Sunday, they do some fun stuff on the honeymoon or whatever. Monday, oh, I can't believe we're moving in tomorrow. So the honeymoon lasts a solid weekend. Monday, they go to the apartment. Tuesday, they visit each other's apartments and they get the stuff together to go back to their apartment. Tuesday night or maybe Wednesday, Pastor Kyle comes to visit. And then Thursday or Friday, they go to the couples retreat. And I understand that Married at First Sight is a very fast-paced show. I get that. It's never meant to be this fast. Because what I was thinking was, does this mean we're not going to get the whole housewarming thing? Because every couple goes through a certain set of things. You get married, you have breakfast with your new in-laws or your new spouse's friends the next day. You leave for your honeymoon, you're gone for a solid week. You come back, you guys see the apartment that you're going to be sharing. The next day, you go back to your separate apartments. You guys visit each other's separate apartments, grab your clothes, your knickknacks, or whatever to bring them to the shared apartment. Then a few days later, a week later, you have your housewarming party. This is the first time since you've been married that you're bringing together friends and family together in one space. You're getting the chance to talk to them one-on-one without all the excitement of the wedding. They're getting the chance to kind of learn more about you. You guys start merging your lives together. You have these meetings with your experts. You have Pastor Cal who comes after the housewarming party. You have Dr. Pia that comes in after a little bit. You have Dr. Pepper that comes in after a little while. and you meet with the couples also and you celebrate the 1 month anniversary. Like, you have all of these milestones that the show is known for. They follow a very strict order of how things go. So for Michael and Chloe, I don't know what this looks like for them. Are they going to have a housewarming party? Are they going to have any of these things? Are they going to speed up their process so much so that when it's decision day for the other 3, 4 couples, does that mean that Michael and Chloe's decision day is going to be the same day? Which makes no sense if it is, because how are they going to decide? They didn't get that whole 8 weeks, and that's not Michael's fault, and it's not Chloe's fault. They shouldn't be punished for that. Their stuff should be completely separate, or the only thing with them being completely separate, that means it's going to drag out the show. I don't know what they're going to do, and they haven't told us, and obviously they don't need to tell us, but it'd be interesting to know how they're going to finagle this, because by my calculations, next week they'll be possibly wrapping up the couples retreat. Normally, the couples will all do something individually on their own. We see a future shot of, I'm going to say Michael, of Ryan and Lauren having a conversation. It seems stupid, but whatever. But normally, regardless, either all couples have like time to themselves, and the next day they do something together. They're cooking dinner together. They'll do something fun like a game night, who knows their spouse best kind of thing, or maybe a dance. They do something. And the next day they all go back to their respective apartments. And then normally they, like with a week or so until decision day, they meet with all of the experts one on one to get an understanding of what is it that you need in order to say yes on decision day, or what is it your spouse needs to do in order for you to say yes on decision day. It's like, again, that last ditch effort from the experts to figure out, okay, what have you guys still not tackled? What is still a lingering issue for all of you? So they do that, and then normally they have decision day. So we're looking at least 3 to 5 more episodes. Then sometimes what they'll do is they'll have a filler episode where people are giving their predictions on what they've seen so far, and then you have the freaking decision day. And decision day, that could stretch into 2 days for all we know. So I don't know how much longer the show's going to go on. And I'm trying, you guys, I'm trying so hard. I sacrificed watching Abbott Elementary last night to watch Married at First Sight and take my notes. That's how serious I am. That's how committed I am to you guys. If I was not committed to you guys, Abbott Elementary would have been on my TV, and Married at First Sight would have been able to kick rocks. But regardless, I watched. I took the notes. I just did the recap and review. I don't even have predictions at this point because nobody's staying together. Lauren and Orion, nothing's coming of that. They're not even going to be friends because there's literally no point. Cameron and Claire. Cameron is completely done. He's checked out. Claire's still holding on at least to friendship. I think Cameron's like, no, I'm good. Maybe at some point they will. But Cameron's like, no, that's not what I signed up for. I don't want this. Brennan and Emily. Brennan's going to say yes probably because he's like, divorce is not an option. But Emily's going to realize, you know what? I don't want to say no because I don't want to get divorced either. And I do think there's something here. However, you have been pulling me along for months now, and for weeks now, and nothing has changed. You're still not trying. I don't want to be your friend. I didn't sign up to be friends at first sight. I signed up to be married. You can't be the husband that I need. So my decision is no. Who else? Becca and Austin. If Austin don't give her some sex before decision day, Becca is going to say no. Because he just keeps saying, oh, I move a lot slower. And I'm not a man. I'm not. And I'm not in Austin's mind. So I can't speak for that man, obviously. But from Becca's perspective, I've been with you now, sleeping, again, I said this last week, sleeping beside you every single night. No breaks. We have spent every single night together laying beside you, and you ain't tried to do nothing with me, not even once. You're comfortable making out at least, but you're still not comfortable having sex. It's been almost 2 months. Almost 2 freaking months. And it's like, if you ain't ready now, I don't see you being ready in the next few weeks. And sex obviously isn't everything. But for someone who is highly sexual, it is a big part of it. And again, as a woman, you feel like maybe he doesn't desire me. He keeps saying he desires me. But if he really desired me, we'd be having sex right now, or at least getting closer than we are. So if he don't give her sex by the time decision day happens, I think she might say no. And it sucks because they're the only couple where I genuinely feel like they care about each other. Like, I kind of really see it, right? I didn't even talk all about Michael and Chloe. Regardless, those are my predictions for those 4 couples. Technically 4 couples. Michael and Chloe, they came back from the honeymoon and said they went to their shared apartment, went to their separate apartments to get stuff from each other's places. Chloe calls herself a minimalist, but Michael was like, oh, she kind of undersold it. Like, I thought there would kind of be nothing here, but I'm seeing more of her personality. I'm learning, so that's great. goes to Michael's apartment. He has a dog and he has a cat. One thing I don't know about Mama Two Wife of One, I'm not a fan of, I was about to say of many animals. I'm not a fan of any animals. I don't like animals at all except for dogs. I really like dogs. I am petrified of cats. They are my number one fear. I do not care for them at all. So seeing the cat, I was like, ugh. But the dog looked friendly. I was like, oh, doggy, that's fine. And she absolutely loves animals. So that was perfect. She got to snuggle up to the dog and she had a good time with that. She's learning more about his personality. We already know that Michael is eclectic in his style, in his fashion. He is very in touch with his feminine side. And that sentence or that sentiment came out a lot last episode. So he's packing up his stuff. And I will say, Chloe's facial expressions were really funny as well. He's packing stuff up to take to the new apartment. And he's like, pulls out this garment and he's like, yeah, this is just so comfortable. You know, it reminds me of this. They used to wear this all the time and this civilization, da 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 da. And like really selling it. And she's like, oh, that's a full blown skirt. And it's like, yeah, just say you own a skirt. He never said the word skirt. And it was just really funny that she's like, oh, it's a skirt. So he packs it. And then she sees him pack another one. And then I think he grabs a third one. And she was like, I've never been with a man who owns more skirts than me. Okay, so I'm processing it. I'm taking this one day at a time. This is me taking it one day at a time. I was like, okay, Chloe. And that is a lot to take in, you know. And then when he's at her apartment, he sees this pearl necklace. He's like, oh, I have a pearl necklace too. She's like, oh, you do? Okay, all right. And he tries on a pearl necklace. Like, oh, this is really nice. She's like, oh, thank you. Okay. And then, like, they're waiting for Pastor Cow to get there. She's putting on her earrings. And mind you, they're not, like, bright like this. They're, like, some gold hoops. And I don't mean teeny tiny gold hoops. They're probably about, maybe, like, take out this bottom part. It's about this size. So they're visible size gold hoops. And he was like, I have a serious question before Pastor Cow gets here. And I really want to ask it before he gets here. It's important to me. She's like, okay, what is it? When can I borrow those earrings? He's like, I mean, just one. I'll just borrow one and just wear it. And she's like, oh, these earrings. Okay, well, how about we wait till Pastor Cow leaves? Let's wait till after the visit. And, you know, again, he's eclectic, in touch with his feminine. I get it, I guess. But that is a lot to take in, like a lot. And when they're meeting with Pastor Cow's like talking to both of them, and he mentioned the feminine side again. He was like, I know that he's in touch with his feminine side, and, you know, it's terrible that in this society we equate a feminine side with being thoughtful and being emotionally intelligent and, you know, showing a lot of care to a person. And it's like, yes, some people do equate that to, you know, being feminine. However, it doesn't help that you're wearing skirts and you're trying to wear your wife's earrings and her pearl necklaces. So it's like, I get what Pastor Kyle was saying, but that's not the only way he's leaning into his feminine side. It's like, you don't necessarily have to wear a skirt. But, you know, that's just me. But I do like that she's not telling him what to do or anything. She's saying that what I've done before has not worked for me. And that's really the theme of this whole show. The people who sign up for the show are at the point where they're like, I've been trying everything. I have met people online. I've met people in person. I have been dating. I've been putting myself out there. I was even engaged at one point. But whatever I'm doing is not working. I'm attracting the wrong people, or I'm going after the wrong people. Whatever it is, I need somebody to intervene and make the decision for me and give me what I need, not what I think I want. Right. So she basically said that, like, I know that I've never been with someone like him at all. Probably if we were in the same space and this wasn't like we weren't part of the process, we probably never would have crossed paths, probably would never try to get with each other or whatever. But the way this happened, you guys gave me exactly what I needed and exactly what I said I wanted. So I'm not mad at that. She's like, is it in the package that I normally go for? She's like, no, but again, what I've tried hasn't worked for me before. And they do find each other very attractive. Like, that's not a problem at all. And Michael has said, you know, I'm definitely interested in being with her sexually, like all that stuff. And one thing Pastor Cal said that I thought was funny, because it just felt again like you were rushing the process. He's like, I tell people all the time, give yourselves permission to be married, i.e., it's okay to have sex. You don't have to wait until things are in place and, oh, you're still a stranger. He's like, you know, I hear people say, like, you know, you're still a stranger. It's like, you're not strangers, actually. You're my wife or you're my husband. So, yes, we haven't known each other very long, but you are no longer a stranger to me. So it's okay to yield to your physical temptations. But both of them said that, we need that emotional maturity to be there before we make that step. And so they're both, on the same page. They both seem to be going in the right direction when it comes to that, which is good. But I just thought that was funny. Pastor Cal just seemed like, hey, just have sex. Like, without him saying it, he's basically saying, if you guys want each other, have sex. Don't wait for, oh, we need more time to pass, or I need to have this in place, or whatever. Have sex if you want to have sex. You're married. You have full permission to do that. There's nothing wrong with that. So I don't know what's going to happen with them. I know online it seems to be very split about Michael and Chloe's future. I also think it's way too soon to tell. But again, we don't know how much time we're actually going to have with this couple. We don't know if they're going to have them follow the same timeline as the other couples. If they do, we're not really going to get to see them that much, or we're not see them. We're not going to have as much time with them as with everybody else. Like I said, this was episode 16. We've had 4 straight months with these other Jokers. With Michael and Chloe, we've had 2 episodes, maybe 3. So we still don't know a lot about their chemistry and know a lot about what they want and what they don't want. So it'd be nice if they gave them a little more time. Or like I said before, give them maybe another full episode by themselves. Yes, we had the wedding episode, which is all about them, and I was very appreciative that they filmed it the way they did. Maybe have another episode where it's just Michael and Chloe, so we can really like see them and get to know them. Have them do a housewarming episode. Instead of doing a couples retreat, let them instead have a housewarming. They don't need to be at the couples retreat. Like, it's unnecessary. I know they keep trying to put everybody together. I don't think that makes sense, and I've never thought that made sense. And this is one season in particular where I feel like they're doing that way too much, having all the couples gathered. No, let them focus on their own marriages so they're not in a position where they're constantly comparing themselves to what everybody else is doing. So that's just my 2 cents. Next episode, I don't know what's going to happen. Again, I don't know how many more episodes are left. If you guys know how many episodes are left in this season, please comment below. I would love to be able to plan my schedule to celebrate like the decision day. I might throw myself a party, have myself a glass of wine, just be happy that it's over. I might do something. So if you guys know when the absolute last day is, decision day, because I don't do the where are they now. I don't care nothing about that. Decision day, if you know what decision day is, please put it in the comments so that I'll know. Make sure you also comment on whatever I've talked about, or whatever you saw or didn't saw, whatever you saw that maybe I didn't comment on. Feel free to put that in the comments as well. Again, make sure you like this video, share this video, and subscribe to my channel. Hope you guys have a very beautiful day, and I'll talk to you later. Peace.